We are oftentimes asked, what is the best way to pay off debt? This isn't always pertaining to credit card debt. There are all sorts of different types of debt: student loans, car loans, mortgages, and consumer debt, meaning credit card, medical, payday, or overdraft. With household debt increasing across the nation, which is the highest point since the Great Recession, it's always a good idea to put a plan in place to pay off your debt. Just as there are many types of debt, there are equally the same amount of strategies for paying off that debt. Here is a list of a few strategies. As a side note, all of these assume that once the debt is retired, you would use that payment to continue paying off remaining debt until you are debt-free. So the first one is the equal pay method. If you have $1,000 extra to pay off 4 debts, you would pay $250 to each debt regardless of the size or interest rate. The next method is pay down the balance that is largest. So say you have $1,000 extra to pay towards debt. You would pay the minimum amount on each balance and then devote the remainder to the largest balance. The next one would be balance matching. This method involves looking at the relative size of each debt. If you have $1,000 to make payments on 2 debts, one with $7,000 and one with $3,000, you would pay $700 toward the $7,000 debt and $300 towards the $3,000 debt. The next method would be pay highest interest rate first. This involves writing down all your debts in order of highest interest rates to the lowest interest rates. If you had $1,000 after making the minimum payment of each debt, you would then apply the $1,000 to the debt with the highest rate regardless of the balance size. Moving on, we have the snowball method. You would apply the extra money to the smallest balance with the intention of getting that to 0 and working your way to paying off the largest balance. So, of all the methods, what is the best way to pay off debt? Mathematically, it is to pay off the debt with the highest interest rate regardless of the balance size, whether that be a car, student loan, payday loan, or credit card debt. It is best to devote your resources to getting that paid off and then moving your way down the list until you are debt-free. However, what may make sense on paper isn't necessarily what's best for you. A recent study highlighted by the Harvard Business Review showed that paying off debt isn't so much about dollars and cents, but about motivation. In other words, people are motivated to pay off debt when they can see that they are making progress. This motivation helps to keep people to continue paying off debt instead of losing steam. If you have debt that you want to pay off, there are several ways to do so. The key is to find the strategy that will keep you going and keep you motivated to become debt-free and enlighten your financial burden.